Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 24 of Civilization 5, this single city challenge as Venice. Not currently in any wars at the moment, just bringing all my navy back to protect our city. Look how much our borders have grown since the beginning of the game. We have such a nice hexagonal shaped border that's only sort of partially obscured by these two tiles that are claimed by Samarkand, but it's a farm and a mine. I'll let them have them, I suppose. But we must continue on. We're 4 turns away from completing the CN Tower, which we need to do for Yerevan, although it's not going to be all that useful to ourselves. 2 turns away from a Great Leader proposal. We are going to upgrade our submarines to nuclear submarines. I mean, why not? We can do. Especially this one, because it has a Wolfpack 3. Definitely going to upgrade that submarine. Nuclear submarines are quite a bit better than standard submarines because they can actually carry nuclear missiles. They can carry cruise missiles as well. Can't remember how many they can carry. Can carry 2 cargo. So it can actually carry 2 missiles. So nuclear submarine has 6 movement. And it has a melee combat strength of 50, which of course is only used if it's actually attacked directly. And it has a ranged attack of 85, which is actually very, very high. If we just wait for the barbarians to finish their turn. So we've got these nuclear submarines. Nuclear submarines have a attack range of 3, 85 combat range, 85 range combat, and 50 melee strength. And if you then go and have a look at your standard submarine, only 35 melee combat, only 60 range combat strength, and it has 1 less firing range and 1 less movement. So it's much better all around. It's much stronger, does much more damage, has further range, better movement, and can carry 2 missiles as well. So submarines, very, very good. Battleship's just going to go to sleep. Another cargo ship to manage. You might as well carry on going to India. There is some good gold coming out of there, so let's carry on with that. Nuclear sub can now just go onto alert mode, or the nuclear sub onto alert mode. If we just have a quick look now at our military overview, we're now -11 on our supply. So as you get bigger and better units, they are actually worth more supply, which means we're eating into our supply limit, which is a little problematic, but I think we can handle it. I'd sooner have a big army, even if it's over the supply limit. It does sort of dissuade the AI from attacking needlessly. Let's get this battleship moved in. We've got a destroyer in there healing up. Ironclad, you're actually going to get promoted to a destroyer. If we actually look at the military overview now, can't remember what we were on. We're still -11, so not too much difference between the destroyer and the battleship. That's one thing, I suppose. Now, I was considering going and trying to take out Mosin Khan. Oh, Alexander has gone to war with Morocco. That's interesting. Not my problem. I also noticed that Greece appears to be moving a little bit of a navy down in my direction. Ah, Genghis Khan has declared war on Alexander. Now, technically, I should still have a peace treaty with Alexander, so he can't declare on me. But if he just wants to come down here and start a war with me, he's more than welcome to, because I can quite easily deal with pretty much anything he can throw at me right now. 7 turns away from computers, we'll be able to get the Great Firewall up and running at some point. Not that we're having a lot of stuff stolen from us, but we are the tech leader. Greece has... Okay, what have we got here? Let's just double check some things. Peace treaty. A peace treaty with Alexander has ended. Okay, so that peace treaty is over. So maybe he is coming to declare on us. Also, Greece is now the ally of Cahokia by 3 influence. No, you're not. Assign delegates, world leader. We need 37 delegates to win the world leader proposal. We only have 22, but obviously we're going to vote for ourselves anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. Not going to win a diplomatic victory, certainly not yet. Never thought that we'd win a diplomatic victory in a game with Alexander anyway, so I've not been aiming for one, and to be perfectly honest, I'm still not aiming for a diplomatic victory, although we do need to make sure that Alexander doesn't get one, so keeping as many of the city-states on my side as possible is going to be better all around. Not really setting up any trade routes with Greece anymore, so if Greece do decide to go to war with us again, Sweden actually want to go to war with Greece. I'm not going to go to war with you against him, simply because we've already had a long war against Greece, and I've got a feeling that, well, Milan's been captured by Mongolia, never mind. I've got a feeling that Greece may be declaring war on me on the next turn anyway, although he does have quite a lot of problems going on right now. Obviously, we don't really want him to get a little bit bigger, but if he takes a chunk out of Sweden, that could be good. I'm still going to be setting my sights on the Shoshone for now, because if they do have one city, we have the potential here to actually completely remove the Shoshone from the game, who are actually the top scoring player. So Cahokia is requesting units, but that's because they're at war, but they'll probably peace out on the next turn. No world leader chosen. Well, we knew that was going to happen. Okay, so we can now make ourselves a proposal. Now, our ideology, which I constantly forget, we are order. So what we're going to do is we are going to make our proposal, and we're going to propose the world ideology, and we're going to go for order. It's going to tick a few people off, but we're not too bothered about that. You guys have done that trading post. You can come over here and do one on this tile now that Greek frigate has gone from the last war. Destroyer's just going to sit around and do nothing. You are going to continue to work your way around the... You're going to struggle, actually, because you've either got to go through Japanese territory or you've got to go through Indian territory. Although we could just take this place out and just make ourselves a gap through, which is also a possibility. But we'll have a look. We'll see how far we can get. We might be able to get open borders. It's unlikely, but, you know, always give it a go. Let's carry on going to... Where would be good? Let's go to Melbourne with you. We have another cargo ship, of course we do. Let's go to Yerevan, because we can put some religious pressure on it. So we are sort of spreading our religion in bits and pieces, mainly by using cargo routes. 12,000 gold currently in the bank, and not an awful lot to spend it on either, which is interesting. We do have a submarine here, which we can just upgrade into a nuclear sub, so we might as well go and do that. And all the gold we've just spent doing that, we are instantly going to get back at the end of this turn. I don't care about anything that you say, Alexander. Yep, I don't care about you either. In fact, I'm coming for you. Now, the problem we do have, of course, is if we do want to... yeah, so Sweden like us for that. If we do try and attack the Shoshone, we are going to have to go through somebody else's lands, which means we're either going to have to go through India... Yeah, I'm not too sure how easy that's going to work. I mean, we could always take one of India's cities out and just make a gap that way. It might be the way to do things. Send our navy over to India, take out one of their cities, make a gap, get them to peace out, and then go after the Shoshone. I mean, India is actually quite low in score, so I'm not too worried about them at the moment. See, Mongolia isn't peace blocked now with Cahokia, because Cahokia is now my ally again, but, you know, Mongolia, once they find an excuse to go to war with a city-state, they'll pretty much hang on to that grudge forever. CN Tower has been completed. We've got ourselves a great musician. Thank you very much. You are going to go on to alert mode. Choose production. What are we going to do over here? We could go for the Pentagon, which would give us a couple of extra great merchant points. Reduce the cost of upgrading military units. The thing is it worth it? It's 11 turns of construction for essentially one culture per turn. There's only a maximum of 138 turns left, which means building this would be worth 138 culture total, which is less than half of a turn's worth of culture. So it's probably not really worth me building the Pentagon. Yes, it'd bump me up in score, but it's not going to help. So let's go for the National Visitors Centre, because we've already got a hotel built in all cities because we only have one city. So that means we get 100% of the culture from world wonders, natural wonders and improvements, landmark improvements, is added to our tourism output. And the tourism from great works is increased by 100%. We're already at 70. That would help a massive amount. We have this battleship over here. Can we get open borders with India? It's guarded, so it's probably very, very unlikely. We don't even have embassies at the moment, so let's go ahead and do that. If I want you to open your borders, what do you want for it? He actually wants a lot of stuff, but he would be willing to do it. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. What I'm actually going to do is literally just come over here, go to war with him, blow the crap out of this city, and then we are just going to sail through. So, we'll leave you here. And you're just going to go on to alert. And then we're going to take a couple of our nuclear subs. They're going to come up and join the party. Another nuclear sub. We're not going to take the entire navy. We don't need it. But we're definitely going to take some of our battleships. So we can do a bit more bombardment damage against the place. What else do we have? Another battleship here. You can come up there. And we're also going to take one of the destroyers. Which one's got the best upgrades? Probably you, so you're going to come across here as well. And we'll be able to wipe this city out quite nicely, so that's fine. Unit needs orders. You are going to create a great work. Fantastic. Can we do anything with that? No, I don't think we have. Oh, we do have a few theming bonuses. We do have Broadway, of course. Though we don't have any other music that we could put into match. So we've got Atomic, we've got Modern, and now we've got Information. If we can get 2 more from the Information era, we could probably do something there, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm not worried too much. I think things will all work out for us quite nicely, especially when we manage to get the National Visitor Centre up and running. That's really going to help with the tourism on this game. I don't think that we are going to win a tourism victory, even though we've managed to get rid of Athens. I think there's still enough tourism, well, there's enough culture that Greece already have that's probably going to stop us from ever managing to get a tourism victory against Greece. Been denounced by the Shoshone, that's not too much of a problem, especially as I plan to wipe them out quite soon anyway. Friendship with Mongolia. I'm going to say no, mainly because they are declaring war on a lot of the city-states. I'm already getting myself lots of warmonger penalties from attacking some of the AIs, but I feel that I need to try and trim them down and keep them in check. I can't just sort of sit back and allow the AIs to sort of prosper, especially as they don't have the disadvantage that I do of only being able to have a single city. Now, we are at the point in the game where other nations could have nukes. I think I did see Alexander working on the Manhattan Project. And now the problem I have is I don't have access to any uranium at all, which is very, very disappointing. I mean, I don't think we're going to get to a point where we can have giant death robots in any case, but still. Let us send you to Sigtuna then, because there's still some good money to come out of there. Wow, that was a very uneventful turn. I guess we're just waiting for most of our navy to arrive over near India so we can go and attack their city. Sparta's being harassed quite a lot, it would appear, by the Moroccans. Sparta's actually taking a fair bit of bombard damage. It may well be from a bomber on this carrier. I would assume that's the most likely thing. Morocco's actually now made peace with Cahokia, which is nice. Looks like Mongolia's stopped fighting them as well, which would be really good if that is the case. Sparta's very, very low health right now. I think on the next turn, Sparta may actually fall, which would be good for us, because obviously it weakens Greece. But it looks like it's going to be Mongolia that ends up taking it, and that could be bad. So what do we have? You're building a trading post. And that's all I can do on that turn. Wow, I did say there were going to be some quick turns on this particular game, simply because we've now finished our war. So if you take a bombard with your frigate's actually gone down, but can that ironclad do enough damage? They've actually just got their own ironclad out. They should have left that in the city, actually. It would have given it a little bit more protection. Not sure that Genghis can take it. I think it's got a little bit too much health for that ironclad. Oh no, you do actually have a frigate out there. Now you can take it, almost certainly. Did you manage to take it? Oh no, wow. Very close though. Oh, it's taking some bombards from something else. That was from a Moroccan battleship. And something's firing at that Greek ironclad, but doesn't look like Greece that Sparta's going to fall on this turn. There goes in a bomb on that ironclad. Again, that was probably from that Moroccan carrier that we saw early on. Well, I don't think Sparta's going to be running for too much longer. But I say, I'm still very, very interested to find out what is going on over at Mos and Carney. Because the last time I actually spoke to the Shoshone, they didn't have any tradable cities. Now, that could be that they... great scientist has been born. That's fantastic. Now, they do appear to have... Oh, that's Yerevan. What's this over here? See, this is Mos and Carney's borders. So they must have more cities over here. But when I actually went in onto trade... Yeah, they don't have any tradable cities. It is possible that they do have a second city there and that that second city is their religious city. And therefore it can't actually be destroyed. Or it can't be traded. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, we're going to pop our great scientist. Before we do, I'm just going to make sure that we have some other tech queued up because I don't want it to be wasted. We're actually going into robotics after computers, which is great because that will give us access to a spaceship factory and into the missile cruisers as well. Then after that, what we would probably want to do is go into... possibly the internet, because that would really help us with culture. And then we'll go into advanced ballistics so we can get the SS boosters started. So let's go ahead and pop the Great Scientist. So that's going to help things out nicely. One turn away from the National Visitor Centre. And then that means we'll be able to put up the Great Firewall as well. On the turn after this one, at least. Again, it is a wonder, so it will take a bit of time to make. Oh, well, it looks like the Greeks are starting to move a few units into Sparta. I imagine there'll probably be enough bombard... you want to keep that deal going, that's fine. I imagine there'll probably be enough bombard to... Wow, Sweden's actually declared war on Greece on the exact turn that the peace treaty wore off. Because if you remember, when Sweden went to war against Greece with us... they eventually peaced out, and on the turn they peaced out, they proposed that deal again, 7 gold for spices, and now that deal's come around again, which means that the 30 turns is up. So they've instantly gone back to war. And obviously this city used to be a Shoshone city. I was saying before, there's probably enough bombard around to take Sparta back down to 0, but is there going to be significant... melee forces around to capture it? I don't think there is, especially as we're now on to the city-state turn anyway. So at least we've got something else that we can actually do at our capital once the focus shifts back on there and the AI has finished with its turn. There we go. So we've now finished the National Visitor Centre. We've got 114 tourism now, which helps us immensely. So we could do the Great Firewall, which gives us a 99.9% reduction in the effectiveness of enemy spies in the city in which it's built. Well, we only have one anyway, so that's basically for the entire civilization. All other cities in the civilization get 25% reduction in spy effectiveness, which doesn't matter. And it negates the tourism bonuses for other players' internet technology. Well, no one's got the internet technology yet. But there's nothing else that we can really build while we're doing it, so we'll just carry on with that. These units are starting to get close to India. We can move them a little bit closer without actually officially starting anything. So let's just go ahead and just sort of sit everything on the borders there. You guys can kind of just come around and do a little bit of scouting for me. But other than that, you can just kind of sit still. You can sit still also. Do still need the destroyer to get up there. They do have artillery, of course, so that may be something that we have to deal with nice and early on. Not sure that attacking that city with a single battleship is going to help you all that much. You did get an instant 50 heal, so you must have spent a promotion there. A little bit of a waste. Japan has adopted the freedom ideology. Well, you won't be doing that for too much longer. India is not afraid of your soldiers. Should you attack, it will be a terrible mistake. Yeah, okay, let's declare war. I wasn't going to do it right away. Did make the mistake there, because by declaring war on his turn instead of mine, he gets a free shot at me, which is a little bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world right there. Obviously, I didn't want to get a diplomatic bonus by saying, no, we're not going to war, and then actually going to war, so... Why is Samarkand actually at war? What was that we just shot down? Maybe that was an Indian ship. Not entirely sure. Anyway, we certainly want to take out this artillery. So, let us take out your artillery. And I'd also like to know if you have any naval units around. So, going to have a little bit of an explore with my submarines. Nothing around yet, so I think we're just going to stay handy. One thing that I do find very odd, of course, is that you need to get... submarines can't be seen, so I think you should be able to sneak through someone's borders with a submarine if you're not going to get spotted. We're going to move this destroyer up, because we're going to be using him to take the city. And we now have another battleship that we can move in. Let's go on to the next turn. I'm not too worried about India. They do have a few units around nearby, but I don't think that it is anything that we particularly need to worry about right now. And Goshute has actually been captured by Sweden. He's not giving it back to the Shoshone either. This is making Sweden all the more stronger as well. Morocco's now made peace with Alexander. Quite strange. I thought they'd at least carried on until Sparta fell. We have lost a few trade routes. They were probably going to India, but that's not to worry. We've got 16,000 gold in the bank, and we're still making 600 something gold per turn, so I don't care too much about that. And it is back to our turn. So we can adopt another policy. And I think we are going to get exploration. Because that will give us +1 movement for naval units and +1 sight for naval combat units. So why not? Let's go and do it. We have a promotion on a battleship. Let's go ahead and give you targeting 3. I know it's not really going up against naval units. However, that means it's even closer to getting the... logistics promotion. Let's go and sink that archaeologist, just because we can. And now we are going to start moving in and taking some shots at this city. And unless they manage to pull out an artillery or a battleship, then we shouldn't take any damage back. We are going to have a third battleship in range, but not on this turn, unfortunately. Let's bring the destroyer a bit closer, so it will be in the position to attack when it needs to be. And again, we're just using this submarine just to be careful and make sure they don't have any any naval units that might pop out and try and cause us a problem. We've got this free spy. I'm actually going to move him and put him back in Delhi, but this time as a spy. Just so we can keep an eye on what they're doing. No chance of a coup in Yerevan, so we're not going to bother anything there. Destroyer can't do anything, so you just sit tight for now. What do we have here? Another cargo ship, of course we do. You are going to go to Tangiers, I suppose. And on to the next turn. And again, I was supposed to end the video there because we're over the 20-minute mark, and I have forgotten, but... As I said before, trying to get these videos just a little bit longer, just so that we can get more of this playthrough done before Beyond Earth comes out. So the Shoshone have denounced Greece. I might actually send one of my subs around the Shoshone's lands just to have a look and see what they've got. So Sparta is actually recovering nicely now that he is not at war with Morocco anymore. Looks like Greece and Mongolia are still at war with one another, though. Oh, look, here... Oh, no, it's a little in... Right, okay, they've got an artillery in the city now. Now, the problem is with the artillery in the city is that I can't actually hit it because it's in the city. So all I can do is try and take the city out, which is what I will do. There is a privateer over here that I need to deal with, but I'm going to deal with that with the nuclear sub, which means that I won't have to waste a bombardment turn from my battleships. I will pull this one back to safety if it does start to take too much damage. We've got a promotion on this nuclear sub. You're going to go for Wolfpack 2. You're also going to come over here to this oil, and you are going to very, very easily, without any effort at all, sink that privateer. You guys are going to max bombardment on this place. So you are taking a little bit of damage, but you should be okay for now. Let's give them another target. I can always move it onto the fish on the next turn and get it to pillage, should it need to get any of its health back. I think I'm going to go exploring a little bit with this submarine, and I may actually take this all the way over to the Shoshone's borders and actually have a look and see what they do have. Destroyer's just going to stay there for now. Certainly good because he's got intercept. And again, that is about all I can do for this turn and therefore the video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the One City Challenge, and I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.